Hey there everyone, AJ back again for the Mighty Glue Stick channel, your source for easy listening Dungeons & Dragons lore. The creature I'm going to cover today is one of the game's stranger monsters, known as the wolf in sheep's clothing. Yep, that is a picture of this fearsome predator, this cute little bunny sitting on an old tree stump. You'll probably spot it pretty easily as you approach or come out of a forest edge, perhaps into a glade, the bank of a stream or pond, some marsh ground that has killed off some old trees. Certainly the tree stump doesn't look out of place. It is weathered and mossy, cracked, and you can see some of the roots are a little bit exposed in the ground around it. The bunny is motionless at first, but it will raise up on its haunches to look over at the noise of the characters as they get closer. It doesn't run off, but then most rabbits don't run until a predator gets a little too close. But this rabbit, it actually seems curious. It's looking over at the characters intently, still raised up, its little paws tucked up to its chest. Is it tame? Could it perhaps be easy to grab for an easy meal? Will it crouch, ready to scurry away as they get closer and closer? It appears to freeze in place, but it's not actually an animal. It is a very clever, flower-like, almost mushroomy growth on what appears to be a tree stump, but again, this is just a ruse. When the roots of this thing snap out of the ground in a spray of grass and dirt, whipping around with accurate bludgeoning strikes and grapple attacks, the root tentacles are very strong and quite difficult to break free from. They can be severed off if sufficiently damaged, otherwise they will pull the victim into an open, vicious maw that widens up on the side of the body, the trunk, which is normally 2 to 3 feet in diameter and full of razor-sharp, very hard thorns in the shape of shark-like teeth. Once the deception is revealed, it extrudes 2 or 3 long eye stalks with disturbingly fleshy animal-like eyes at the end of them. It has 7 root tentacles in total, but they and its eye stalks can be severed without killing the creature. They simply regrow in 1 to 4 weeks. The root tentacles have about 12 feet of length to them, and it has 10-foot reach on all of its attacks. If confronted with only one large and strong target, it will latch on with up to 3 of its root tentacles at a time, opposing the struggles of its prey by inflicting their rolls with disadvantage. It is a fairly tremendous bite for something of its size, and it bites to feed, so its mouth, like a shark, is designed to cut chunks of flesh from its prey, or simply swallow tiny creatures whole. If this creature grapples and gets more than a couple of solid bites on a small humanoid, like a halfling or a gnome, you may want to consider the possibility that they've lost a limb or two to this monster's maw. The wolf in sheep's clothing is an alien organism, like the vegapygmy and the froghemoth. It arrived inside the artificial ecosystem housed in a giant spaceship that crash-landed centuries ago. As a result, it has spread slowly across the world, and encountering them is relatively rare, which, unfortunately, means that most people have never heard of them, and they are caught out by the camouflage all the more easily. They seem to be a fairly stationary creature, but those root tentacles can move around slowly at a maximum speed of 5 feet per round. They can make their way from one good ambush site to another, but they don't need to feed on animals exclusively. They can actually just root down into very rich soil and absorb nutrients for years if need be. So if left unchecked, it is possible that these things could become a widespread problem. Thankfully, they don't seem to breed that often. In fact, the method of their reproduction has not been studied or observed at all. They are a greyish-brown colour. Their eye stalks can extend up to 10 to 15 feet and are almost prehensile, able to snake their way up into holes and around corners or reach up high to get a panoramic view of their surroundings. The eye stalks are brown at the base and fern green at the top, with pinkish or violet-coloured eyes that have flower-like growths around them. The mouth has thick, black rubbery lips. When shut, it looks like a sap-crusted old scar on a tree stump. If the decoy growth is damaged, it can grow back in a matter of hours, even faster than the eyes or root tentacles. If someone managed to capture one alive, it would fetch a very high price as an exotic subject of study, or it might be purchased by a very wealthy noble to serve as some sort of guard animal, or might even be encountered in a travelling circus freak show. One of them might escape, for instance. Also, we don't know that this is the only form that these creatures take. They may have other decoy forms similar to a more limited shape mimic. But they are plants, or perhaps some sort of plant-fungus hybrid. We don't know. If you enjoy learning about classic monsters of the weird and wonderful history of Dungeons & Dragons, leave a thumbs up and a comment down below. Thanks for the patron request that brought you this video. Remember, patrons get access to all the written scripts and 1 week advance access to all content. Plus, you get to request specific monsters like this one and bring some of the weirder ecologies for you. Thanks for listening, everyone. I'll be back with more for you very soon.